In this market update, we're going to be talking about why it's important to look forward when investing and not looking back at past performance. Hi, Jim Gore from THOR Wealth Management. A lot of people invest like they're driving their car looking through the rearview mirror. They're looking at past performance and they invest based on past performance. And if you're driving your car, instead of looking forward through the windshield, if you're looking through the rearview mirror and driving your car, inevitably you get into a car wreck. So I want to give you a test here. You look at these two funds. These are two equity funds. And all you know is their performance. And this is their annualized performance over 1, 3, 5, and 10 years. Which fund would you choose? Inevitably, almost 99% of the time, I can only remember once where an individual said Fund B. People go to Fund A. Why not? Performance is great. Why would I want a losing fund? I want a top performing fund. What I forgot to tell you is both these funds are the same fund. It's the S&P 500. And so what I'm looking at here, the first one, Fund A, is the time period ending March of 2000. So you put your money in at that time, you thought you did well. Well, you got past performance. Well, the next one, Fund B, is a performance after that, ending March of 2009. So you invest in that S&P 500 for 10 years through 2009, you actually lost money. Well, let me show you that graphically. Okay, this is, and I added one other fund in here for demonstration purposes. So you look at this is ending March of 2000. This is what the performance 10-year for the S&P 500, you put $100,000 in there, it's worth $500,000. Pretty good returns, okay? The other fund that I'm showing here is emerging markets. And you can see there was a dislocation back in 1997, 1998, where all of a sudden emerging markets got hurt pretty hard while the S&P 500 continued up, the rising up there. Well, inevitably what happened was because of that dip, no one wanted to buy emerging markets. Everyone wanted to buy the S&P 500 in March of 2000. Well, let's look what happened after that. And this is at 10 years ending 2009. And you can see here that there's a stark difference between the performance of the S&P 500. Your $100,000 is now only worth $73,000. You lost about $27,000 of your money over a 10-year time period investing in the S&P 500. Whereas if you put in emerging markets, it went to $218,000. You made money. Oh, and this is a time in 2009, March of 2009, after our market corrected, that people were espousing, hey, you have to invest in emerging markets. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, the BRICS are going to take over the world. And what you're doing is here, hey, emerging markets have done well. I want to invest in those rather than the S&P 500, which is underperforming. Well, here again, let's take it to the next 10 years. This is March of 2019. Look at what happened. The S&P 500 has significantly, if you put $100,000 back 10 years ago, right after the crash in March of 2009, that $100,000 is worth $438,000. In the emerging markets, it's $243,000. So it's significantly underperformed. And that's usually what happens. So is that things that look like the performance are good end up being very poor. This is why the average investor, according to JP Morgan, over a 25-year time period only gets a 1 to 2% annual rate of return. It's because they're driving in the rearview mirror for past performance, and they're losing money because they think they're getting great funds, but that's not telling you anything about the future. So I got another little test here for you to take. These are two sections, Section 1 and Section 2. Section 1 is more your equity growth funds, and Section 2 is your income funds, if you will. Now, if you look at this, knowing what I just taught you about past performance, now choose which fund you would invest in or one you would invest in Section A and then Section B. And if you want to find the answers out to what these funds are, shoot me an email. jgore@thorwm.com. I'll tell you which funds these are. These are all ending last week on October 11th. And you can see which funds these represent. And if you don't like to shoot me directly, go ahead and go to our website. at thorwealthmanagement.com and shoot us an email that way. Keep in mind, THOR having a dedicated process that's looking through the windshield, not the rearview mirror, is what makes us a good long-term investment choice for you. Take care and talk to you in a couple of weeks.